Hey, hello, good morning. Welcome to the Stokastic.com MLB strategy show. Dave Loughran here, 11 game slate. This sucks, right? That's no way to open a show. That's not going to bring people in the door. All right, that doesn't work. All right, let's say we usually love our Wednesday early slates. How about that? We love our Wednesday and Thursday early slates, and oddly enough, we don't have one today. Couldn't tell you why. Shouldn't make a difference, honestly. I mean, we still got 11 games. We got a great one ahead of us. And you guys may not want to hear this. Yo, pitching is a landfill below the 8K range. I mean, it is disgusting. But guess what? We're here to talk about it anyway, so I'm glad you guys could join. Good morning. Andrew, Andy, Jameson, Cujo, Jack, Jake, Skittles, what's up, brother? Good to see you in here. Michael, yeah, I'll tell you what. How did you guys do yesterday? Because I wake up this morning, I fell asleep. I was up till like 11:30, 11:15, I think it was. I was like, all right, I'm done. I'm done. Got to get up at 6, you know what I mean? It's up before 6. I need some sleep. Nice 7 hours, you can live with that. And I'm like, all right, Will Warren, I have 75% of this guy across my lineups. I go to sleep, it's like 5 or 6-0 Houston. All right, we got a chance. I wake up, and before seeing how I did, I went straight to the MLB app because I wanted to see how Houston did. And I was like, oh, shit, 13 runs. I had 70% Houston stacks yesterday. I loaded up on Houston. I let the Sims do what they do because it's been good. And I somehow lost a little bit of money because the bottom of that order went crazy. And apparently I had a whole lot of that top of the order. But I mean, dude, they were right there, you know. Jam Will Warren, we did. Even though he was popular, we got way over the field there. 11 strikeouts against the Angels, despite coughing up 3 runs. And then the Astros put up more runs than any team. They had 13 runs on the day. It's just the way it goes sometimes, I suppose. Look, I mean, there's no chance I'm going to complain about that, though, right? Like, there's no way I'm going to look back and be like, I should have done something different. No. Sometimes you just can't control who the guys within the stack and how you formulate each of these 4 and 5 man stacks, or how it's going to play out. You're over the target. You're right there. You get everything right, except this sounds dumb, but except for the right combos. Yeah, Steven, I ended up on 43% Brian Wu as well. And I saw him cruising. I was like, man, I gotta be golden. I'll go to sleep, wake up to a nice pile of cash. Nope. That didn't happen, but it's okay. I mean, it was certainly not a devastating day, but you know, it's the way it goes. The best thing about daily fantasy baseball, though, is we get to have some selective amnesia here. Forget last night ever happened. Jump back into on the saddle and talk about 11 games today. So let's make it happen. Before we do, though, if you guys could be so kind, I know many of you already have. It's automatic at this point. We just do it. Atone for your sins this fine morning. Hit that thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. It's free. It goes a long way for me and the channel and everything else. So I appreciate you guys in advance for that. I know I say this every time, but it's true. I wouldn't even ask you otherwise. I'll never be the guy that's like, yeah, smash the thumbs up, brother. You know, subscribe. But, you know, at AA, they say a suggestion is a subtle command. So if you don't mind, do me a solid. And if you're watching or listening after the fact, you guys already know I always try and read and respond to everything there. I appreciate you guys who can't watch live and still jump into this video after it's been live. I see you. We know you're out there. Anyway, Lone Wolf, I watch on playback so I can speed through all the ad reads. JK, busting your balls. Joke's on you, partner. I'm not on playback when I do this show. But I know you're kidding. And also, I keep the reads pretty subtle around here. Plus, when I do reads, it's so easy for me to do a read on this show because I believe in everything I'm talking about. You know, this isn't like some other shit where I'm reading off a script and being like, let me just get through this and back to the show. I want you guys to use the tools. I've seen our guys crush with them all season long. Obviously, I want to get people in on this. Yeah, of course. But anyway, let's do it. And yes, Anthony, I would agree with that. That it likely will not be 11 games because of the Chicago weather. I mean, I somewhat agree with you. You're saying this as if it's a certainty, right? Speaking in absolutes there, Anthony. However, I do agree that those games look rough and it could be bad. And if they don't play, then you've got 9 games. But I'm not, as it stands right now, we'll keep that on the forefront. I'll mention it multiple times throughout the show. For those of you guys who jump in late and don't start from the beginning, no big deal. But also, I'm not just going to wipe them off the slate. I'm not going to eliminate them from our pool when we run the Sims and talk about these games because things can change. It's also possible that, all right, this game gets delayed for an hour and a half and then they play with 0 issues going forward. That's definitely in the cards. So yeah, let's do it. Red Skittles, I was at a minor league game pounding $2 hot dogs and $2 PBRs last night. Ran the Sims on my phone in about 5 minutes. Life-changing convenience. Yeah, dude. I told you, Skittle, maybe you weren't in here on Monday. I went to an Iron Pigs game, a AAA game with my family. It's an hour and a half rain delay on Sunday. Didn't care. I'm out there. You won't catch me dead wearing a poncho, right? So I'm just out there soaking up the rain, enjoying life. My girls, my 1.5, my 4-year-old are running around in the rain, sliding down the hills. Greatest time. I got 5 hot dogs. It was $12. I couldn't believe my eyes. I suggest, if you guys didn't see Monday, everyone should take their family to a minor league game. It was so much better than a Phillies game if you're bringing kids. All right, Melissa, $5 super chat. Hey, Melissa. Thank you. Rarely get to be here live. Good to hear the call to atone from you, Laffy. That's right. Atone for your sins. Thank you, Melissa. All right, let's get into it. Let's go. Bruce, just drive to next time you're in a neighboring state, just deposit, build a lineup. All right, so let's make it happen. I mentioned to you guys at the top, for those of you who were here right when we started, pitching is a trash heap under the 8K range, and I mean it. I mean, let's just take a look. Let's have some fun with this, right? Let's sort by salary. Chris Sale's been one of the best pitchers, one of the most dominant pitchers this season, right? Reigning Cy Young, but over the last 2 months, you'd be hard-pressed to find more than 1 or 2 pitchers who have been objectively better than he has. He's going to make it into our lineups tonight. I already know it. I've already looked, and I'm not surprised by it. Not the best matchup against the New York Mets. Obviously, we'd take Colorado here any day of the week, right? 85-degree temperatures, potential rain, but should be good in Atlanta. There are, I guess, some things working against Sale, but all in all, the only valid argument you'd have against playing him today is that he's going to be popular, and he's not that popular. And then you have Framber Valdez. All right, so Framber Valdez, you want to talk about dominant. This guy has been absolutely lights out. I mean, as good as you can possibly get. And not just like, hey, consistently putting up these 6-inning, 1-run, 6K games. Nah, like 5 innings, 12 Ks last time out, 7 innings, 11 Ks prior to that, 9 innings, complete game, 1-run performance on a solo shot is all he allowed, 9 Ks before that. Like, he has been dominant. Here's the problem. Temperatures are going to climb north of 100 degrees in Sacramento today. I believe it's 96 degrees at first pitch. That boy is going to be hot. Now, here's the other side of the argument. And I'd love to know where you guys stand on this as well. We got 150 of you in here to start the show? What matters more? The fact that it is a super hitter-friendly park. We saw that again yesterday. Just a barrage of home runs in the bottom of that Astros order. Or the fact that Framber Valdez has a near 60% ground ball rate, and outside of Jose Soriano and Andre Palante, is the most extreme ground ball pitcher in the league. Which one is it, right? Because I think there's an argument to be made that Framber Valdez is good enough to kind of mitigate these conditions, given that he can put everything on the ground. And it's not often that you get guys who are extreme ground ball pitchers and also have above average K rates. Like the two guys I mentioned, Soriano and Palante, they're not guys that are missing a ton of bats. Valdez has a 27% strikeout rate. He literally has the highest K rate of his career right now. You know, when you get a guy that has a 27% K rate and a 58% ground ball rate, 62% career ground ball rate, you could probably say, hey, his ground ball rate's down this year from his career averages because he's missing more bats, doing things a little different. We can live with that. We can live with a 3-4% haircut off the ground ball rate if he's striking guys out at 27%. I still want to get to some Valdez. Like at the top, Sale and Valdez to me are the two guys I want the most of. Sonny Gray, the weather is highly concerning there. If that happens to clear out, if it just clears out and we end up being okay, maybe Sonny Gray needs to be in the conversation as well. Chris Bubich at 9,500 against Texas. This guy is a fantastic young pitcher. Remember, I said it is a trash heap below the 8K range. Not in the 8K or not above. Actually, I should say it's a trash heap below the 9K range. Right? Unless we intend on getting to a bunch of Jameson Taillon. Winds are blowing out here in that Wrigley game. So no, I'm sorry. No, they're not. They're blowing out in the White Sox game, not in the Wrigley game. These temperatures would be okay for Taillon. I'm not paying $8,700 for him, though. I don't have a ton of interest in that. I'd rather go to Bubich. I'd rather pay a little bit more for Sonny Gray or go all the way up to Valdez and Sale. But Chris Bubich, when I looked at our exposures, I don't think we were getting much of him. We're getting 9% Gray, 9% Bubich. All right, so not nothing. 8% Valdez. A lot of it's going to Chris Sale. Logan Allen, that's quite disgusting, and I hope it comes down throughout the day. If it doesn't, you may actually see me add some negative boost or just cap his exposure there. I'm letting you know right now that's a real possibility. But, when you run these sims later in the day, things change. Like we were getting a lot of Festa when we ran it yesterday morning, and then I got much less Festa yesterday when I ran. I think I ran the sims at like 6:55 Eastern before a 7:05 start. I got much less Festa than I did earlier in the day. So things change. But you look at Bubich, the only bad start he's had over the last 1.5 months was against the Yankees. And we kind of called that on this show, right? Like it was super hot there. Winds were blowing out at Kauffman Stadium. All of the ingredients were there for Bubich to come back down to earth. I think he looks pretty good here today. I really do. I think he looks okay in this spot. So all four of those guys in the 9K range, I don't know if you could really dispute that they're all good. They're all good plays. All of them. I love it. And Andrew mentioned that the A's that the A's mash lefties. Yeah, they're certainly better. I mean, look, they've got a lot of power from the right side of the plate, but you still have a 297 xFIP for Framber Valdez against right-handed bats, 26% K rate, 0.58 home runs per 9, 58% ground ball rate against righties. I mean, those numbers are all still, borderline elite, if not elite. He's damn good. Steve, Taillon has been great at Wrigley over the last 2 years. 260 WOBA, 7.4 Ks per 9, sub 1 whip. No, I'm not. Look, you're not going to hear me argue against Taillon being good. I think Taillon's a pretty good pitcher, and he's having a nice season. But you're still paying you're still paying $8,700 for a game with potential weather concerns and a guy with a 20% strikeout rate. Now, he doesn't walk a lot of batters, sub 5% walk rate. That benefits him. You can go deeper into games. But even at home, 23% K rate at home this year. That's good. It's good. Much better than on the road. 20% K rate at home last year. I think it's reasonable you put him in that like 21, 22% range. That's fine. But I guess what I'm asking you guys is, would you rather pay the 8,700 for Taillon or just get to more guys like Sonny Gray, because both of those games have weather issues. They're both in Chicago. Get to more Sonny Gray against the White Sox at $1,000 increase, or get to more Chris Bubich against Texas at $800 north of Taillon. To me, he just feels like a casualty of the slate. It feels like the odd man out here. And honestly, I like all four of these guys up top over the $8,700 Taillon. You know, I guess we could talk about this young flamethrower for the Brewers. His first start was solid. Who was that against? Was it the Red? I don't even remember. Who was it against? Does anybody remember? I don't remember. But this Mizorowski character, he was sitting like north of 101. I'm still the type of person that would side with the Cubs in a spot like this. You know, you got a guy coming off a great start. No doubt about it. First major league appearance. All of that looks nice. But I probably side with the better offense against a young pitcher here. And the weather's concerning. So I don't know if we get there. He's good. There's no doubt about it. He's got excellent strikeout stuff. He had a 30+% K rate at every level at the major league in the minor leagues. There's something to be said about that. But also, if you go up against a good offense like this, what are the chances that he just ends up walking 6 batters? Right? These guys that throw flames, he walked 4 batters in his first start. And that was against St. Louis, as a matter of fact. Yeah, I probably don't get to much of him today. If you want to get really weird, he's pulling 4% ownership. Go for it. So now here's the question, and you guys got to get involved here. You got to help me out. What are we doing in the 6 and 7K range? What in the world are we doing here? You've got a few options that I think are viable. You got another few that I think you're going to have to play even though it's gross. Logan Allen against San Francisco. He's getting some ownership. Ryan Yarbrough. You know, we saw Clark Schmidt dominate the Angels 2 starts ago, despite only striking 3 batters out. That sucked because he could have had a monster game, and they lost 1-0 in extras. That should have been an easy 30 fantasy point game for Yarbrough or for Schmidt. We saw Will Warren yesterday, chalky, but we still got over the field there. Strike out 11 batters. 11. And I think, 5 innings? 5 or 6 frames? Take that all day long despite the 3 earned. Problem with a guy like Yarbrough, he's got an 18.9% career strikeout rate. How many pitches does he throw? Right? It's a K-heavy Angels team for sure. Yarbrough's $6,500. I guess there's something to be said about this. He threw 93 pitches 3 starts ago, so that's okay. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I think of the cheap options, Yarbrough by default is probably my favorite one. Probably my favorite one, along with Taj Bradley. Bradley's the type of guy that can just flat out implode. Flat out just unravel early on. I mentioned this in the perfect lineup video that I do with Josh. That'll be out in like an hour and a half. Thank you guys for supporting that. We did our best views on that since we started last week. our best views on that video yesterday. So to those of you who came and supported it, maybe told people about it, hey, firing off a dump at work, sit down, open up the phone, put in a 5-minute, 6-minute video, get some good information. Try and cram a lot into those 5 minutes. It's applicable for large field stuff, for small field stuff, single entry, whatever it may be, we got you covered. So check that out. It's here. It's a short video, 5-7 minutes every single day. Pop that up. So thank you guys. I noticed we got a ton of people liking that, a ton of people commenting. We're giving away a free week of Core Sims every single day on that. All you have to do is comment your favorite stack in the comments, and whoever gets it right, might only be one person today. If you get it right, you got it. No lottery, no nothing. So check it out. But I mentioned Taj Bradley in that video, and I just hope it's a quick death, a Francisco Liriano style death, in the event that he can't hit the plate and just gets ravaged early. Or Taj Bradley at 7,400 goes out there and smokes. And I think that's possible. I honestly, Stephen Leibowitz, the under 8Ks is like being asked, where would you like to be punched? Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I think Yarbrough makes for a decent play, but also Bradley. Now, Baltimore's offense is starting to come around. It's a power-laden offense. We know that. And on their active roster against righties, they have a 200 ISO this year. That's third best in the league behind the Diamondbacks and the Yankees. Like, they're legitimately good. They have a 124 WRC plus. It's top 3. They also have the 4th highest K rate and a bottom 10 walk rate. So what I'm getting at here is there is a path for Bradley to get destroyed, and there's also a path for Bradley to go out there and have a really nice game. We talk about these feast or famine stacks, feast or famine pitchers all the time. Taj Bradley, that's Taj Bradley in a nutshell. But I have been encouraged with the K rate trending up, with the walk rate for the most part trending down. I think early in the season, he was certainly unlucky. It's scary that this game is at George Steinbrenner Field, clearly a hitter-friendly park, 4.9 run implied total for Baltimore. But all in all, I think Bradley looks okay. And if you look in the top pitchers tool over on Stokastic, he has the 6th highest top 2 pitcher probability. And the only guys he's behind are Sale, Valdez, Sonny Gray, Bubic, and Jamison Taillon. That's good company, right? You look at the top 2 value percentage. Taj Bradley's 4th. And I hardly even count Eric Lauer into this equation. He's getting some ownership, but I'm okay with it. So if you're just looking at value and we're looking at top 2 pitcher probability, I think it's actually pretty easy to rule some guys out entirely. Genuinely think we can just say bye-bye to some of these guys, like Jack Kahanowitz. Holy shit, though. Dude, Jose Soriano and then Kyle Hendricks. What did Hendricks go? 6 scoreless with 9 Ks yesterday? Maybe we should play Kahanowitz. This Yankees offense has been hibernating in this series. It's crazy. But this guy's not very good at all. That's why he's the cheapest pitcher of anyone going on this slate. You know, he's walked a boatload of batters this year. I still can't get there, despite how well Soriano and Hendricks pitched. I don't really think Verlander's in the cards. You might get a little bit of him today, fine. Bailey Ober, 7,600. Severino against Houston, very little chance I get much of him. Sean Burke is 6,200 against the St. Louis team that really, really limits strikeouts. I mean, let's look at our exposures for pitchers. Sale, Allen, Yarbrough, Bradley are the 4 guys we have 20+% of. Heavily overweight on Sale and well over the field as well. 19% leverage there. A lot of leverage on Allen, on Yarbrough, and some on Bradley as well. Then we get into this single-digit range where we've got, let's say, in that 10% neighborhood for Gray, Bubic, Valdez, Emmett Sheehan. Is it Sheen? I don't think it really matters. Where has he been? I think it's Sheehan. It's got to be Emmett Sheehan. But getting a little bit of him in the spot against San Diego at $6,900. I remember we what was it, 2 years ago that he was up with the Dodgers, right? 2 years ago? That would make sense. I remember he actually pitched threw a decent amount of innings. What was his K rate? 26% in 60 innings. Not terrible. All right, so we're getting a little bit of him. What's the implied total for San Diego? 4.5. That's fine at $6,900. Up there in value score. Positively leveraged. Who's the most positively leveraged pitcher? Tyon and Mizralski. Blackburn, Corbin. But no one really has significant leverage. So I don't think we have to worry too much about that, honestly. Jason Park. I love it. Jason says, using Kahanowitz today. I'll report back and let you know how it goes. Hey, man. With the way the Yankees are hitting right now in this series, I guess it wouldn't be the craziest thing. Anthony, Angels bombs away tonight. I don't know, dude. Yarborough's never been a bad pitcher. One of the reasons we just never played him is because he was in Tampa and they'd always use him in those bullpen games, right? And they limit pitcher pitch counts so much there. So I don't know. Spoonie loves. I love Yarbrough for his price. Honestly, man, I do too. Can it go south? Yeah, of course it can. Anytime you're playing pitchers there, it can. But we've gotten two great starts out of Yankee pitchers. It's a shame neither of them got the win. Devin Scott, I have a feeling Yankees explode tonight. Listen, I'm not going to argue that. I can absolutely see that happening. It's a 162-game season. A handful of games means nothing. Nothing. So right now, you see what we're getting to. You see what we're getting to. And I'm okay with it. Those are our pitcher exposures right now. Now, that's 11 o'clock Eastern. Things can change. Weather can change things, right? Although right now, yeah, it would change it a little bit because if you didn't have any Sonny Gray or Jamison Tyon, but not going to change it a ton. Really, the bulk of our exposure is going to Sale, Allen, Yarbrough, and Bradley. Take a look at our stacks as well. Hey, by the way, for our home runs yesterday, Christian Walker, if you boosted that on FanDuel, the 50% boost, you got that to like 6-1 odds on Christian Walker, and he hit a dinger for us. Let's go, baby. We'll get the homers at the end of the show. We've run pretty nice with those, honestly. Almost as nice as Mark ran in NBA. Never tweeted before, but figured, hell, why not show off what the best tools in the business can do for you? First of many to go. Yeah, this was on Monday. How about no way I win this without the tools from Mac, first place in the solo shot. C-Marsh, thanks again to the Stokastic team, $300, third place. And I think that's the mini max. Took third in the 10K solo last night for Richard as well. Dude, the wins are piling. I'm so glad I decided we weren't going to have a strategy show. I'm so glad I did this just to be able to celebrate with the people. And our time's coming. You in there in chat, our time's coming. I haven't hit anything big yet this year either. But I mean, it's such a long season and there's so much variance in baseball that you just have to do what you know works. And eventually it will work. You're just never going to win every day. Unless you're Elway's Army. This guy crushes with that avatar all the time. MN, just 2 weeks using the MLB Sims and this happened. Right? I mean, these are all just from the last week. Our boy Ugly Lovely signed up for Sims Core yesterday and immediately started working on Linus with Watch and Lobby. 20K, boom. The commish. Rock the Tools, Stokastic Avatar, 50K. D, only my second day using the Sims. $500, first in the mini max. We'll take these all day long, man. Keep them coming. Make sure you're rocking that avatar. If you want to get in on the tools, you obviously know all you have to do is shoot me a DM on Twitter or on Instagram. Same handle, at Laffy_D. It's right there. LOUGHY_D. Say, yo, Laffy, I watch the show. Watch the show all the time, or maybe only sometimes, but can I get that code to grab a big discount on a week of The Sims or a month of The Sims, whichever one you prefer? You know what I mean? Just hit me up. I'll shoot you a code right over the moment the show's done, or later in the day if you're watching after the fact. That's all you got to do. Or as I tell you every time, you want to make life easier on yourself? Click the link in the description that says get our tools free. Sign up with one of our sportsbook partners. Literally follow these 4 steps. You can get as many months as you want, assuming you're not on any of these pick'em sites or books. Simply follow those 4 steps and just start stacking free months of Sims monthly. Dude, no better time, no better way to get in on the tools, especially as we head into these summer months. You got baseball, NASCAR, PGA, everything, MMA. Join the family, man. Join the tools. Hop in the Discord. Hit me up. All right, anyway, let's get into our stacks here because there's something I want to talk about. Yesterday, we got a ton of Houston. Hopefully, it broke some of your ways. It didn't break my way. I had like 60, 70% Houston stacks. They had 13 runs. There's literally nothing you can do about that. Just didn't have the right combos. Had 70% of a pitcher that had 26 DraftKings points at 7,500. You know, it is the way it goes. But we're getting to Houston again today. And we are getting to Tampa today as well. I'm not sure right now how much I want to change. Trevor Rogers going for Baltimore. Luis Severino going for the Athletics. These are 2 spots we're getting to a lot of. And whoever mentioned the Yankees, this is what I wanted to point out to you. This is where it gets kind of fun because the Yankees are never going to be a cheap stack. But check out our exposure. If you go into exposure caps, you can see your stack exposure for 3, 4, and 5 mans. We have almost 20% Yankees. And what's odd about this is we typically don't get to a ton of Yankees in the Sims. And one of the reasons for that is that they're very expensive a lot of times, right? Like you look at the value score today, it's a lot better than it usually is. Usually it's all the way at the bottom, but it isn't today. They have the highest top stack probability on the slate among 22 teams. They have a 6-run implied total, which is higher by nearly a full half a run. This is one of those spots where even though they're getting owned, the Sims are still feeding them to us. If Kahanowitz goes out there and dominates again, that'll suck. But you know what? You just have to roll the dice when you're getting better value on a team than you typically would. It'll suck that Yarbrough is going to be in the equation for us, that guys like Logan Allen and Taj Bradley are absolutely going to be in the mix of pitchers we're using, because you're not going to be able to stack a number of these teams with a, pairing of Framber Valdez and Chris Bubich or Sonny Gray with Chris Sale. It's just not going to work. So we're going to have to lean on some of these cheaper options, and it is the way it is. Shit, if you did that 2 days ago and got to Ryan Pepio and Lucas Giolito, looked fantastic for you. Or if you even did the, high-low pairing yesterday with Brian Wu and Will Warren, damn, that's a great combo. These guys don't have to look perfect on paper because they're not, Everyone has access to the exact same pitchers today. It's not like you can go in there and be like, oh, nice, I get a 7K Zach Wheeler against the Rockies, right? Like we all are picking from the same pool of pitchers. So with that in mind, you have to do some things that might not seem comfortable in order to get the lineups you want. And in this instance, we're getting a lot of Houston, Tampa, Yankees. Who knows what happens with this St. Louis and White Sox game, but a good amount of St. Louis. And then it kind of, you see this precipitous drop where there's no one else we're really getting to a lot of. Look at our exposure for 3-mans. No one more than 6%. 5% Yankees, 6% Tampa, 5% Minnesota, 4% Houston. Look at 4-man stack exposures. 7% Houston, 4% Yankees. we're living in this 5-man stack range today. And a lot of times you'll see that on these bigger slates because you're trying to get that concentration of exposure to a team instead of trying to fire individual bullets across, 8 different teams and have all the stars align, which they typically don't. Devin, you nailed it, man. But you know what? I got to say, I know you're just speaking in generalities there, and I get it. But when you look at this chat every single day, I don't, and I'll read what Devin said for those of you guys who are just listening. He said, people are way too emotional for a high variance sport like the Yankees. Just play the good plays and hope it works. I got to be honest. I'd say the guys that we have in here that understand, how tools are a driving force behind like profitability and ownership matters. And, even simulations. We're in 2025 now. These sims matter. And even if you're not using sims or using these tools, understanding the value of leverage and just being comfortable in uncomfortable spots with a sport like baseball. I got to hand it to everyone that watches this show. You never see people come in here and, bitching about stuff because I think everyone understands just the nature of the beast when it comes to fantasy baseball. And that's a great thing. We got an awesome community here. We really do. Keith, the hardest part is trusting the sims. You're right, but I will say this much as well, Keith. If you can trust yourself to like go out there in 2025 and hand build this type of stuff, this is not an insult because I'm saying the same thing about myself. It's a false sense of confidence. It's a false trust, right? What it is the idea that we're uncomfortable placing faith in something that isn't ourselves. But you've got to ask yourself, if you're using simulation tools and you're using, other tools to get you where you need to go, there's a high likelihood that whatever you were doing wasn't working. And I can say that for myself. Whatever I was doing that worked for me years ago stopped working quickly. And I'm simply not smart enough to build my own sims out. I would say most of us aren't. Aaron said, every time I don't trust the sims prove me wrong. Yeah, and look, is it every time? No, but it sure shit feels like it. I made some heavy adjustments on Sunday and it bit me in the ass. And I felt good about it going into it too. It's that false sense of confidence, and we all still fall victim to it. Michael, yeah, I agree, man. These MLB shows, don't get me started, dude. I already had best ball drafts going this morning when I was working out. These MLB shows really do make the waiting period for NFL so much easier. Yeah, I'm glad we're doing this. I'm glad I'm doing this. Because what the hell else am I going to be doing? Obviously, I'm still betting with the Portfolio EV tools every day, and we're doing that, and those tools have been awesome. But there's something about just being able to play DFS, kind of our first love here, that goes a long way. Keith said, oh, I thought I could hand build. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude. But the single lineup sim for those of you hand builders is awesome. That thing's awesome. Josh and I use it every day on the perfect lineup video. So yeah, it's not just the sims. It's not just the top pitchers tool, the top stacks that you're getting. It's not just the late swap, which I used heavily yesterday. It's not just the post-contest sims. It's everything, including the single lineup sims. So what do you guys say we build a lineup out before we go? Let's make it happen. I'll do one thing for you, though, and look at our individual exposures. I think this can be helpful. Altuve, Caballero, Aaron Judge, Shohei Ohtani, all of those guys, 27+% in the outfield. Once again, daily disclaimer, things can change. Things can change. But we should see something close to this unless we get anything dramatic. Jeremy Pena, Caballero, Bobby Witt, Gunnar Henderson. I won't even include Gunnar Henderson there. It's Caballero and Pena at the top, at shortstop. And Caminero. All these guys sound the same. Paredes. And if you want to include Jazz Chisholm in there, you can do that as well. Altuve, Curtis Mead, Ohtani and Walker, and Yandy Diaz at first base. And at catcher, Diaz, Ivan Herrera, Danny Jansen, and Caratini, all above 10%, with Diaz getting the most. That's where we're at. So let's see if we can build a lineup. Yeah, man. Aaron, we'll see you soon, man. Appreciate you hanging out. All right. Let's go. Let's do this single lineup sim. Rapid fire. Give me some stacks. Give me a stack. The one that pops up the most will build a 5-man. Go. We'll talk about the pitchers here. See what we can build. See if we can build a beauty. I'm going to zoom out. It might be tougher for you guys to see this, but we can still fit everything in there. The lineup I want to build, I want to start with Sale and Yarbrough. I know Sale is going to be popular, but Yarbrough is not going to be that chalky. Great value score, positive leverage, super cheap. So we'll go Sale and Yarbrough. D-backs, Tampa Bay, Toronto, St. Louis. Dang, you guys, all right, you guys want to stack St. Louis? We have some weather concerns there. But we could try it. Let's see what happens if we stack the cards. And then we'll let the Sims do the rest of the work. So Ivan Herrera, we probably got to throw Wilson Contreras in there, right? Batting cleanup, projected for 8.34. That's solid enough for me. $3,900. Let's see. Do we want to go Donovan? Let's go Donovan. Alec Burleson at 3,300 looks good. And let's throw in, we need one more. We're going to go 5-man. Mason Wynn. We got 5-man St. Louis with Sale and Yarbrough. Roger, actually, that's fun. We'll do the Yankees after this. Good call. Let's stack the Yankees after this. Let me complete this lineup and see what happens. Then we'll stack the Yankees. Oh, wait, hold on a second. I want large field. Let's do 10% to first. Like we're playing some of those 10% contests. Let me get rid of Grisham, Ohtani, and who else did it throw in here? Encarnacion Strand. All right, let me fill this back out. Complete this lineup. So we have a 5-man stack. It threw Encarnacion Strand, Ohtani, and Trent Grisham in there. We'll run the sim, large field, 10% to first, and see what we get. Yeah, we'll do a Yankee stack for you guys for sure, and for me. We got to be positive here. 62. All right, 62% simmed ROI. Love it. Now let's go. Yo, should we try something crazy with Bradley and Yarbrough? Should we go Bradley, Yarbrough, and try a Yankee stack with that? That might actually be fun. Yeah, let's do that. And by the way, for those of you guys watching, someone yesterday as the show was ending was like, I keep getting beat by all those damn stickers. He was talking about stochastic avatars, right? If you're not rocking the stochastic avatar yet, go to stokastic.com/HOF. All you do, literally just download one of these, upload it, use it wherever it is you play, FanDuel, DraftKings, whatever. Finish top 3 in a field of 5,000 or more, rocking this avatar. That's it. And then shoot us a tweet at StokasticHOF. Maybe say something nice. Show us the screenshot. We got to see the screenshot. Free month of Sims Max. Sims Max. If you win twice in a calendar year, you get another month plus a free week of any other Sims Max package. And gold, 3 times, even if it's in the quarter arcade, doesn't matter. Free month of Sims All Access. It's a $550 value. And any $20,000 or more win, even if it's in a 500-person field, you get inducted into the Stokastic Ring of Honor. We build you out a beautiful Stokastic ring in a spinning display case, engraved, showing your win, your username, when it happened, what contest, how much you won. Very cool stuff. Everyone we've sent them to has really loved them. So make sure you're rocking that. Who knows? It may be you. And while you'll have nice monetary windfall, why wouldn't you want to just get more and not have to pay for the tools as a result? So check it out. Stokastic.com/HOF. Anyway, let's build this with a Yankee stack. Yeah, stickers. Call them what you want. We know what they are. We see a lot of them. All right, let's go. We'll go Yankees. This actually should be fun. You guys have any specific bats that you want in here? Any specific? Obviously, I'm throwing Judge in here. He's projected for 12.6 today. Judge is going in. That's non-negotiable. Judge is in. Throw some other names out there that we're going to add to this. And I honestly don't know what this is going to look like, given that we have Yarbrough and Bradley. That's kind of crazy. You want Volpe and Rice? All right. Let's throw Ben Rice in. Anthony Volpe. Wait, actually, hold on one second. Before I do that, we got to throw Bellinger in with the way he's projected. Okay? We have to. Stanton, Volpe. So we've got the 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 bats. I can live with that. So we don't have Jazz. Damn, dude, we still have 4,300 remaining. I'm tempted to take out. I'm taking Volpe out, and I'm making the executive decision to throw Jazz in here. We have so much salary remaining. We have 3 spots left with 4,000 remaining. Let's have the Sims fill the rest out and run the sim here. Who did we get? Willie Castro projects well at 3,400. Yanir Diaz, no surprise there, at 3,600. He was already our highest exposed catcher. And who else? Jeremy Pena. Okay, sweet. We got a 5-2-1 Yankees, Houston, Minnesota with our pitchers taking up $13,900. Let's run it and see what we get. This should be, I have no clue. It's got to be good, right? Come on. Put us in the 70s. $69.1. All right. Solid. I had a feeling this would look good. I mean, that's just a sick lineup. Look, could it be over before it starts with those 2 pitchers? You are damn right it could. But, if Bradley and Yarbrough both go out and give you, say, 20, and Sale is just decent, and all those other guys in that upper tier are just, not really paying off their salary, this stack could be lethal. Man, this tool is so fun to use. I love this. A 5-2-1 Yankees, Houston, and then, of course, the one-off on Willie Castro with Bradley and Yarbrough. Woo! We got Judge in this lineup. We got Jazz. I mean, we got whoever we wanted from the Yankees. And then this is the crazy part, right? We still managed to get the 1 and 4 hitters for Houston and a 2-hitter for Minnesota against the left-handed Lodolo. I'll take that any day of the week. All right, before we go, what do you say we find ourselves some home runs on this beautiful Wednesday? Brock, I have the Yankees as the 4th highest price stack with an implied close to 6. Yeah, we have them around 6. We still have, the 4th highest price, yes, but the value score we have in the top stacks tool isn't just factoring in their price. Just because they're the 4th highest priced team doesn't mean they're going to have a lower value score. It is also relative to their implied total. They have the highest implied total by half a run, and they're still not the highest price stack. I mean, it looks good. If you guys are on Fanatics, home runs have crushed within the Portfolio EV tool on Fanatics this year. 10% ROI, which is nuts on anything with an OS rating of 2 or higher. Seager's gone. They just moved it. But Roman Anthony in this spot, plus 850. We have the true odds at plus 724. There's Corey Seager, plus 410. Tough matchup, but you take value when it's available. Let me go into the live odds screen. By the way, Portfolio EV, if you guys are looking to start making money betting, especially if you've got healthy accounts, you haven't signed up yet, the link in the description, you got a free week. You don't have to pay a single thing. There's legitimately no downside. There's nothing to lose. I think you'll love it. Even if you're just DFS players, there's simply no better way to buoy your losses on tough stretches for DFS than to bet with the top-down, market-based approach like we have at Portfolio EV. It makes just a world of difference. A world of difference. Get outside of your comfort zone. Get outside of your comfort zone. It'll make a big difference going forward. We're all comfortable with shit, and we don't want to experiment with new things and see what it can do for us. Especially when it's your own money on the line. Get outside of your comfort zone and check this out. It's free for the week. If you start making money with it, why would you not want to do it? It's essentially passive income. You got notifications sent straight to your phone, a mass entry tool where you can bet 20 bets at a time, uploaded straight into your bet slip, and the parlay generator that generates parlays for you in seconds that you add straight into your bet slip. There's no downside. Anyway, do we have any good homer picks? Anything on DraftKings or FanDuel? Here's one, Matt McClain today. Plus 420 on Matt McClain. I want to see if we have any boosts on FanDuel. We used it on Walker yesterday, boosted that high. This is against Bailey Ober. Any boosts? Gavin Sheets, plus 550 against Sheehan. Daniel Sheenman. Okay. So a few actually look okay. Schneenman. That's a name. Let's see. Any 30% profit boost on parlays? Still worth it at plus 420 though. Anyway, best bets right now are on BetMGM. O'Neal Cruz at 9-1. Lindor at plus 575. Granted, tough matchup, but you take the value when it's available. And Altuve plus 725. So a lot of bets popping on BetMGM. Anyway, appreciate you guys. As always, you want to check these tools out, just DM me, hit me up. You know where to find me, Laffy_D, LOUGHY_D, Twitter, Instagram, wherever it is that you use. Say, hey, can I get that code? Get that big discount to get in a month of The Sims? I'll say, yes, you can. Anyway, have a great rest of the day, guys. Let's have a good one. I'll see you back here tomorrow, Thursday, early slate. Yeah, little early action on Thursday. I know you'll be here. You better be here. That's where we make our money. You know what I mean? We'll see you back here soon. Live Before Lock coming up tonight. NBA Game 6 of the finals tomorrow as well. So it'll be a busy day. I hope to see you here. And if not, see you back here on Friday. Bye-bye.